Back here on College Football Weekly, he is Mike Robinson on the sidelines for every Toledo football game for WSPD. In many ways, 63-44 win against Nevada, but maybe not as pretty as what you maybe would have liked.
Definitely not. And definitely if you're the Rockets and Coach George, you're definitely not excited with this victory because you gave up a lot of yards on the ground, and you got to make sure you clean those things up because it only gets tougher as the season goes on. It's a lot of good running backs in the MAC.
But then you look at the offensive side, 9 touchdowns for Toledo, no field goals, 63 points, over 450 total yards. Mitch Guadagni, 15 of 24 passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. What did you see from him?
He coming to his own. That's the one thing you see is how Mitch Guadagni is really waking up this Toledo offense. There's so many weapons that he has, Zach. He has so many good receivers out of Cody Thompson, Deontay Johnson, Javon Johnson. There's so many different targets. You got to understand that his feet is what makes him elite.
Right.
And so with him being able to scramble out the pocket as he did, it really helps the Toledo offense because now through that dual threat that we were looking for all season, it's starting to come out because he's getting more comfortable.
131 rushing yards for Guadagni, 2 rushing touchdowns, so 6 total for him. That's great and all, but he was the leading rusher again for this team for 2 straight games. Koback, 12 carries, 29 yards. Shaquille Seymour, 57 yards on the ground. What did you see out of this ground game? And you heard it from Coach Candle in the postgame press conference himself say that he's a little bit worried about the inconsistency in the backfield.
Well, you got to be worried because the ground game is what really opens up the passing game, and everybody knows that. So if you're not being able to run the ball and get those first downs on the ground like there's been in the past, last year Shaquille Seymour was outbreaking every game he was playing, he was having about 100 yards a game.
Right.
So this year, the run game has just been really stale, and they got to find a way to open that up. Maybe it's changing some guys up on the offensive line, trying to find out who's the right fit, but they got to find a way to break through because using Mitch to run the ball, and he even said it that he doesn't want to be the guy to have to run the ball. That's what the backs are for. He's got to find a way to find these offensive linemen some room. They got to create some room because if they're not going to run the ball this year, passing the ball, everybody knows you got 3 studs out there at receiver, and you're going to put your quarterback in harm's way.
And we know, going into the season, a lot of the talk was about that backfield. Art Tompkins, Shaquille Seymour, and then when Brian Koback was rule eligible, everyone said, wow, watch out. And so far, through 3 games, albeit, but really haven't seen the consistency. Turning now to defense, we talked briefly about it. You talked about Coach George and how he definitely didn't like what he saw the other day. How worrisome is that? To give up 49 to Miami is one thing, but 44 to Nevada, and now you look at a Fresno State offense that's going to obviously give you a lot of challenges. So what do they need to do defensively?
Well, this week is going to be another tough challenge. This is going to be tough sledding. This is a team that beat a Power 5 team out of Oregon State, and how they did it was with the quarterback run. Their quarterback is very elusive. He can run that thing, and then Mims, the running back. Let's not talk about this guy. Because if we get to see him get going, you saw Tua Tao. That guy was a big running back, 240 pounds for Nevada. This guy Mims is different. He's a speedster. So if he gets to be able to break into that hole, imagine what can happen. So we got to shore up the things on the inside. Linebackers out of TAFE, they got to do a better job of making more tackles at the line.
A win is a win. 19 points, and that covers the spread in a lot of different places. But what were some bright spots that you saw out of that win?
Energy. You saw points. You saw the offense light the scoreboard up, and that's what everybody's talked about. Watching the Rockets put points up, and this is what we've expected. We didn't expect the other team to put the points up that they did, but the defense, we found out our secondary, we got to shore it up a little bit. But bright spots, Khalil Robinson, let's talk about this guy. He's a stud. He led the team in tackles. He did his job on defense, but he's a leader emerging, and that's one thing you like. Tuzar Skipper got a sack. We're finally starting to get turnovers and sacks, and those things are progressions of the defense getting better and understanding what the offense is doing and taking it away.
And let's talk quickly about the Toledo fan base. 25,000, they're averaging 25,000 fans in the Glass Bowl. This is a stadium with a capacity of 26,000. Granted, that is with the Miami game, but they packed the house for BMI, and now Nevada. What can you say about the fan base?
Well, you got to think about it. Toledo's a hometown school where a lot of people come from Toledo, go to Toledo, and this is a place that is special. The football program is very good. You got to credit Jason Candle and Mike O'Brien, the athletic director, for what they do for this university. And the fans really appreciate it. They recruit home, they get the home athletes, and when you're able to do that, get guys like Brian Koback and Tyler Long and Bryce Mitchell and Tyson Anderson, everyone wants to come and see these guys play here, and they're winners. Everybody likes a good winner.
So now you turn to Fresno State, like we talked about, a 10:30 kickoff out on the West Coast. How tough is that for a team from Toledo to fly out there and get ready for a night game?
Well, it's tough for everybody. It's going to be tough for me to get ready for this game. It's a long trip, and no one likes to go on the road, And when you're on the road, you got to find a way to stay focused. You got to go through the hotels, getting in and out the planes, and trying to get comfortable in a new time zone and climate change as well. So the Rockets just got to stay focused. And I think Jason Candle has his bunch ready to go. They'll be ready to get off the plane, stay in their trip, stay in their mode. Last year we saw it happen when they went out to Nevada. They handled business. I think it'll be the same thing. It's a business trip, and they understand it.
Now, UCLA, we know that program is kind of down this year, but Fresno State beat up on them 34-14. This is a pretty good team, and I know you were watching some film on them.
Yeah.
What challenges will they bring to Toledo?
Well, they're going to bring a lot of different challenges, and the challenge that we're going to see again is the quarterback. The quarterback, McMarion, he can really run the ball. I like what he does with the football. He can pass it upfield. He's got a decent arm. But the running back, Mims, they run the pistol offense. So a lot of things that they do on offense we saw last week with Nevada. Right. They will run the ball a lot. They'll try to find ways to beat it up in the A-gap. And if they're able to do that again, this guy, Mims, can really run, and he's electric.
You can listen to Mike Robinson out on the West Coast for WSPD along with Brett Belbinot. Be sure to tune in. He's Mike Robinson here on College Football Weekly.